morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, November 7th, 2013. If you're listening on the radio and want to watch this, go to www.catex.com. The Philippines is target central right now. Super Typhoon Haiyan, or as it's known in the Philippines, Yolanda, is going to make landfall at about midnight, Greenwich Mean Time tonight. The storm is now a monster. It's about 300 miles southeast of the Philippines. Thousands of people have been evacuated. The typhoon has wind speeds, consistent wind speeds of up to 170 miles per hour. It was rated as a Category 5 storm yesterday. According to the Weather Channel, the storm is likely to cause widespread devastation and, quote, a significant loss of life. Now, the Weather Channel said there was a similar typhoon that struck in 1990 and killed 700 people, so you are going to see that here, maybe even worse. Gusts are estimated to be around 195 miles per hour. The winds are equivalent to an American Category 5 hurricane, which is the maximum on the saffir-simpson scale. There's very little likelihood of the wind speeds decreasing or of the track changing. It's going to make landfall on the island of Leyte, just about at the city of Tacloban, which has a population of about 220,000 people. Winds of this magnitude result in catastrophic damage, with even solid brick and stone-built constructions at risks of destruction. In addition to the winds, forecasters are expecting 500 millimeters of rain. This will cause flooding and landslides. Not a good situation there. Swiss Re said its third quarter profit dropped about 50%, but it still beat analysts' forecast. This is after the company was forced to add to claim reserves at its Australian life business. Swiss Re, which is run by our good friend Michel Lies, made a net income of $1.1 billion in the 3 months to September 30th, down from about $2.2 billion in the same period last year. Analysts had expected net income of $770 million. Munich Re, the largest reinsurer, said that they saw an operating profit of about $1.07 billion in the 3 months ending on September 30th, down from about $1.4 billion in the same period last year. The decline reflected higher claims expenses at its core property and casualty reinsurance business, no doubt due to the losses from the German hailstorm in the summer. Meanwhile, in London, the Lloyd syndicate Beazley is weathering the pricing pressures seen in many reinsurance classes and is on course for a mid-80s combined ratio for the full year. This is an unbelievable number. This means they're going to come in at about 85% loss ratio. So for every dollar they take in, they're going to be paying out 85% in claims and administrative expenses. So they pocket the 15%, and of course any investment income they make is only gravy on top of that. The firm's gross written premiums for the first 9 months of the year were up 5%. Yesterday at the Exchanging Conference in London, the CEO of Brit Insurance paid a glowing tribute to Lloyd's and its business model and their ability to fight off the current threat from so-called alternative capital market reinsurers. Clouder said, "The market's capital leverage, underwriting discipline, and global licenses add up to create a clear and fundamental competitive advantage for Lloyd's." Presumably that means that there is no underwriting discipline in the insurance-linked securities group. He didn't say that, I did. In Frankfurt, there was a surprise decision at the European Central Bank. They actually lowered their benchmark interest rate to a record low 25 basis points, down from half a point. Recent economic data in Europe suggests that lower than expected inflation at about 0.7% suggests that the economic recovery remains weak. The Bank of England, meanwhile, earlier today left UK rates unchanged, signaling a belief that economic gains in Britain will continue. There have been a couple of scientific studies published this past week regarding the meteorite that struck the Russian city of Chelyabinsk earlier this year. That meteor was 65 feet wide. It hurtled into the skies over the city in February. It began to break apart at an altitude of 28 miles high. It was traveling at a speed of 12 miles per second. The rock exploded with the energy of around 500 kilotons of TNT. To put that in perspective, that's about 1 million pounds, or about 25%, or excuse me, 1/7, that's about 1/7 of the total bomb tonnage dropped by the Allies in Japan, North Africa, and Germany during the Second World War. That's an awfully big blast. Directly beneath the meteor's path, the shock wave was powerful enough to knock people off their feet. At its most intense, the streaking fireball glowed 30 times brighter than the sun, leaving people on the ground below with skin and retinal burns. One person 18 miles from the point of peak brightness lost skin from their faces after being burned by radiation. The blast was the biggest on Earth since Tunguska in 1908, that massive meteorite that struck out in Siberia, but this one, of course, was recorded with all the seismic and camera equipment that tracked the meteorite's passage through the sky. Shockwave left a trail of damage 55 miles on either side of its trajectory. Now, this presents a wake-up call, according to scientists, because one scientist at the University of California said, if humanity does not want to go the way of the dinosaurs, we need to study an event like this in detail. Apparently, scientists' models for estimating damage from airbursts, such as the blast that exploded 28 miles up, were way off the mark. The glitch in the models means that the number of space rocks with sizes of the order of tens of meters, which do in fact pose a threat, may be 10 times greater than what was previously thought. This may ring a bell with some people. About a month ago, 60 Minutes, the American news program on CBS, had a story on precisely this topic. If one wants to be scared, there is a map that one of the universities published that show all of the meteorites that are currently being tracked by NASA, and it, of course, is reminded that represents maybe less than 5% of the existing meteorites. Plenty of things to worry about, and that's another one. Luckily, we're not dinosaurs yet. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.